Hey, welcome back to another episode of Yoshi's Island. Hope you're doing well today. We're going to get started with the last world. There's a lot of levels in this one that are actually pretty difficult and they kind of get long. I'm going to try and do what I've been doing with four levels per episode, but if it ends up being like, you know, too long for a couple of levels, I'm not gonna keep pushing it. So let's get started with 6-1. It says scary skeleton Goonies. And so so everything's kind of like bleak and a little abysmal looking, but like it actually kind of just looks like the jungle level at sunset. But yeah, so the Goonies, and now that they are skeletons instead of like the regular, Goonies from the last area, you can't ride them. They kind of break apart if you jump on them. So I wonder if these like native Shy Guys, I wonder if that's how Shy Guys are normally supposed to, like how they normally are, and then like a lot of the other Shy Guys are like, introduced to the modern era kind of deal. Or if it's just like a motif, they're just having fun or something, Because those guys with the spears definitely seem like they're having some kind of fun. Oh, yeah, I just remembered, one of the most interesting enemies that got added into this game are in this level. So, well, you have, there they are. You got, Street Fighter bandits. Throw Hadoukens. Which, I mean, technically, is it the Hadouken or is it the Kamehameha? Because, they both do the same hand, gestures. I guess it would probably be Hadouken because the Kamehameha is like a beam, isn't it? It's not just throwing a burst of energy. But this level kind of pulls out all the stops and brings a lot of stuff from previous levels together. Like the, giant chain chomps that are going to jump and try to, take the floor out from underneath you. You got the green toady that I was talking about when the... Oh, God, we're dead. When I was talking about the, purple toady that shows up when you take a hit, the green one just travels around in an area and will just charge at you, so you gotta be careful. I don't really care about that flower. Gotta watch out for Ryu here. Hadouken! I don't think you can really defeat him unless you have the fire or ice melon. Because you can't jump on him to knock him out like you can the baseball boys or the bandits. I think he's in 1 or 2 levels in this area. He's probably just really a karate guy, but he literally throws Hadoukens. And if anyone was alive during this time to remember, Street Fighter was the shit right about this time this game came out. So Street Fighter was a really big deal. Unless my years are mixed up, I think Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was out around this time. I really don't know what year this game came out. I should Google it real quick. I'm not going to. I should, but I'm not going to. Okay, what we want to do is we want to drop this bone down. Hit that one. And then hit this one. See, even in the most darkest and dank and bleak places, even the most bright, sunny, happy sunflower can grow. Something poetic about that. I don't know what, but something. Alright. Gotta be careful. I was about to say, we gotta be careful. We don't want him to bust my balls and, like, get the right star. I don't think I've won that one at all this playthrough. Usually, it's super easy and, like, I have no problem doing it. But, like, apparently this playthrough really is, like, trying to show me up with it. Because it's pretty easy. It's a pretty easy one. Watch the spikes. Oh. Like I said, like this level it pulls out all the stops and I hit you off screen. I heard it. Pulls out all the stops and like brings up so much stuff that you've done so far. This is really like the test level of like, did you actually develop any skill through the game? I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, this is the worst one. While this is tackling on, let me see, when did Yoshi's Island come out? Yoshi's Island release date August of 1995, but why are they showing like a Nintendo DS? That's weird. 1995, and Street Fighter 2 really hit its popularity around 92, so, and really rode it. But like, when was Marvel vs. Capcom? 95 or 96? Marvel versus Capcom release date 98 as like Clash of the Superheroes. Well, I was way off with that one. Like I said in one of those other one of those other episodes, like I'll be thinking about something like I remember it specifically at this time, and then it's like, nope, that was years later. Okay. This is like the Bandit Cave, isn't it? The Cave of the Bandits. I wonder if this is like, I haven't read it. I can't remember what it's called. It's like the Chinese story where it's like the Outlaws of the Marsh or something like that. I wonder if it's a reference to that. I haven't read it. Like a lot of those old stories are like, you know, 4 books long. I was reading Journey to the West though. I was reading it and I got to, he just got, Wukong just got like the power pole and stuff. And then I took a break and I haven't picked it back up yet. I mean, I'll pick it back up soon, but not right now. It's a fairly easy read, so it's not really that big a deal. It's really good too. It's really well written. It does a pretty good job, in my opinion, of like creating a sense of like mysticism, which is kind of the point of it. You know, it's about like Wukong gaining enlightenment, I think. I don't know. There's like 4 books of it. Journey to the West. I know that if anyone has ever like done anything where they've watched anime or read manga, it's very likely that they've seen a Journey to the West episode or something like that, because it's a very popular story in Japan and in China and everything. And of course, you know, it's a, if I'm not mistaken, it's a Buddhist tale. I know it starts off with Wukong learning Taoism, but I'm pretty sure it's, you know, he becomes a Buddhist by the end. you know, but it's a tale about spirituality and development and stuff. I'm gonna pick it back up, and I guess eventually I'll explain if how I feel about it. I'm really upset though, because I got the first book on the Kindle a few years ago, because I'll go back and forth between like physical copies and like Kindle and everything. And when I bought it on the Kindle, it was like $5 like 3 or 4 years ago. And when I went to look at the books on Kindle that are from the same publisher of the other 3 books, they were like $20 a piece. I'm like, dude, this is on Kindle. This isn't like I'm buying a physical book. And I looked, and literally you can get the entire collection for like cheaper because they bundle them together. Even buying the first book again is cheaper than buying them all on Kindle. And I'm like, wasn't the whole point of Kindle and like digital was because it was supposed to be cheaper and like more convenient? Like, this is getting outlandish, bro. I guess it kind of goes back to what I was saying about like subscription services and stuff. Because let's be real, I think there's a Kindle Unlimited. I don't have it. I don't care about it. And their whole big sell is like you either get books really cheap, or I guess there are 3 levels with them in it, but like you either get it really cheap, or you can like quote unquote rent them for free as long as you have the Kindle services type deal. And I guess they're like not selling enough of that like subscription service, so they're trying to make everything super expensive. I honestly just kind of feel like it's just going to ruin the service more than anything. Whoa, careful. Like, it just kind of... Oh, God. I just kind of feel like it's going to, like, ruin the service, because it was supposed to be very convenient. The whole point of e-readers is they're meant to be convenient, and you don't have, like, a whole 3 or 4 bookshelves full of books, you know, that you might read once or something. And so paying like $2 for it to have like the digital copy versus like $20 a book, or if you're, you know, smart, go through the used book route, because 9 times out of 10 somebody bought the book, didn't read it, and donated it or sold it. So like you're buying basically a brand new book you're buying a brand new book for like, you know, 1/6 the price or 1/8 the price. And, you know, if you just take some rubbing alcohol to it or something like that and sanitize it, if you're concerned about it being like dirty, I mean, you basically bought like a brand new book. Of course, that being said, you can absolutely end up with a book that has a really rough looking cover. But I guess this would be an example of don't judge a book by its cover. Will you like go away? I guess at this point it would be like don't judge a book by its cover, because the outside contents may look rough, but the inside is still preserved or in good condition, you know. But like I was saying, I just was really frustrated about that. That's why I didn't buy the other copies yet, because I was debating. And that's actually one of the reasons, going back to what I was saying, I took a break from reading Journey to the West, is literally because of that. Because I'm like, I could just buy them physically and just finish reading them physically, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, if that's something you're interested in, like chatting about, like I always say, feel free to drop a comment in the comment section. Just be respectful about it. If you don't like e-readers, that's great, but you know, just be respectful about it. If you touch this guy it creates that, I can't remember what its name is, from the first real final boss of the first area. Like, they're becoming like normal enemies now. I think we had to fight him at least one more time in this castle. But the second time, there we go. The second time we won't have access to this, you know, flower, but we need to defeat him to get the key. But just to wrap up what I was saying, yeah, if you don't like e-readers, that's great. I usually, there's certain books, if I'm using something for reference as far as like, you know, a philosophy book or something like that, or some kind of like religious doctrine type book or something, like, and I'm like, okay, like it would be easier just to open the book and go straight to that part so that I can remember what it said versus like scouring through like Kindle, you know. So I usually tend to have those. All of my Yoshi. All of my manga is physical stuff. I don't like to read manga digitally. I mean, I was, you know, like I was saying, I think I was complaining on one of the previous episodes about, here's that where you had to fight him again in this place. I was complaining about Crunchyroll removing the manga option. It was all being done, you know, digitally. But that one was not that big of a deal. So much for me to do that, because it was like, some of the stuff that I read, I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't plan on buying this. But, you know, like I was saying with like Talentless Nana, I really, like, I would really love it if they actually released those physical copies in English, because I would, you know, snatch that up real quick. But I read a series called Orange that I remember seeing in stores a lot, and it was kind of okay. I kind of, if I'm going to be honest about it, I kind of felt like the story was like slapped together, or that it was like, well, maybe not slapped together. I don't think that's really right to say. It was more like it kind of felt like, I don't know, like it took longer to tell the story than it really needed to, in my opinion. I'm not the writer or the, you know, illustrator who made Orange, so, you know, it's not really my vision, or it's not really like, you know, the author and the illustrator, if they are the same person or not, I don't know. You know, they probably felt like it went on as long as it needed to, and I'm not trying to say anything disparaging about that. I'm just saying, like, for me, it was like, it felt like it was longer than it needed to. I also read a series called, what was it? Our Little Room of Happiness or something like that. It was pretty interesting. It was like, it was pretty interesting, but like it had like the Detective Prince trope in it, you know, where it's like the Detective Prince trope where it's like the 15-year-old super genius detective, but like it was not really that. And by that I mean, what I mean that it's like, let me finish what I was saying and then I'll do this. He wasn't really like 15, he was like in his 30s or something like that, but he just looked like a 15-year-old, so it was like, it was the trope without being the trope. But I mean, it was alright. I might read it again, but like if I had an option, but I'm like, I'm not gonna hurt if I don't, you know. Eek, how did I never expected you to get this far. Now it's over. Your gaming's here. We're gonna play Brick Break, but with, you know, reverse Brick Break. Very reminiscent to, you know, Bowser and Super Mario Brothers 3, but you gotta use the eggs. Not whoa, careful. But yeah, I read a few other series. I don't remember what all I read on it. Oh. Oh, I read this one called Inside Marie. It was pretty interesting. It was kind of compelling. It had a weird, like, ending as far as, like, what was really going on. But it was really good. Like, it was, like, 8 books long or something like that. If I could get the physical copies, I'd probably would. And I read this one that, I read it, and I have, like, no reason to ever read it again. And it's very fitting that 69 popped up, because it was one called, like, Love Theory, I think it was what it was called. And it was, like, borderline Gooner material. I read it, like, it was okay. I don't ever plan on reading it again. It was just middle of the road for me. Thought the main character sucked, to be honest, but that's where I'm going to end it here. If that's your favorite manga, you know, good for you. Feel free to express that in the comments, but, like, once again, just be respectful about it. If you watched the video, I appreciate it. If you made it to this point in the video, I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.